So if you see, I have opened this Microsoft Excel software, and apart from the regular tabs that we have like home, insert, page layout, formulas, and the data review and view, I do have some tabs like developer. Now, developer is related to macros and automation, so we are not talking about that particular tool over here. However, just besides developer, if you would notice something called Power Query, and you would notice something called Power Pivot. So let me tell you, these are not third-party utilities. So right now I am using Excel 2013. So if you just go to this account, you will see that right now I am using Excel 2000 Professional 2013 version. And 2013, so I was talking about the difference between 2010 and 13. So in 10, these software we need to install separately as a third party, add in what we say. So there are different add-ins in Excel, as we know, like we have data analysis toolpack, we have solver add-in. So these are the add-ins that Excel already had. Like if you talk about 6, 7, 8, 10 years back also, a decade back also, Excel had the concepts of add-in. But from 2010 onwards, the add-in that changed the total capabilities of Excel was these two add-ins. So namely, it was Power Query and Power Pivot. Now, Excel from 2007 onwards, it had the capability. If you just go to the data section or the data menu, you see that Excel already had incorporated the concept of getting data from other sources. So it could gather data from SQL Server, and it could gather data from analysis services. It could gather from data from Windows Azure Marketplace as well. So these capabilities were well built in 2007 onwards. So it saw 2007 saw a major transition in Excel. So the even the file names were changed, the extensions were changed from XLS to XLSX, and likewise. Now there is a difference between this particular data and getting it from web and from other sources, and the Power Query that we have right now. So Power Query, actually the term when it says Power Query, it's definitely Power Query itself. So it has got the capabilities to incorporate different types of sources. So we will see a live demo of just a glimpse of that particular thing here right here today. But before moving on to that, so I was telling you that 2010 we had to install it separately, but 2013 onwards, what they have done, or if you talk about Office 365, so Office 365 was a new development in 2012-13. So they incorporated the cloud technology along with the existing MS Office. So MS Office became MS Office 2013, became a part of the Office 2000, Office 365 fraternity, along with other things like OneDrive. They have something called OneNote. They have something called Yammer, Link, Delve, SharePoint, and Power BI was also added to this particular community. So from Excel 2013 onwards, or we say that Office 365 onwards, this Power Query or the Power Tools were bundled into 2013 version. So that is the major advancement that they have done. And right now also they are focusing on the BI part of it. So how we can crunch a huge amount of data, how we can gather insights from those data, no matter where they belong to, no matter from whichever sources this data is coming from. So we can crunch those data and we can gather some insights. So that is the motto or objective that Excel is going towards and heading towards. And since this is a very common tool, so we know this tool for decades now. So almost more than 30 years, this software is with us. So right now we are using the 15th version of Excel, and which has got inbuilt BI capabilities. So it has come across a long way since we know the software so well. So understanding a new tool in that software becomes a very easy thing. And also I would show you just now that the concepts of pivot, the concepts of query has been kept intact. So if you talk about pivot, the pivot is same old pivot that we have been seeing for past so many decades. But the look has changed, the feel has changed, and the power has also changed. So without talking much, let's go directly to this particular demo and see what are the components that I have got for you. First of all, just you might uh, are thinking of a particular question that from where this Power Query, Power Pivot, and all these things have come. So in case you are using 2013 version, let me show you the path. So you go to File, and if you go to Options, and if you go to Add-ins, so I told you that you need not install it as a separate software. It is there bundled in your Office itself, in your Excel itself. So how do you get it? Now, understand one thing, this is not a regular Excel add-in. This is actually a COM add-in, or what we say component object model. So these all Power Query, Power Pivot, and I will talk about two more powers. So Power Map and Power View. So they are all components. And these components have been identified as component object under the model of component object model, or what we call COM, under Excel 2013, and they are here. If you go to add-ins, you will see something called COM add-ins over here. So apart from regular Excel add-ins, you have something called COM add-ins. The moment you say go, you will see these options are here. So these are the four components. So welcome to Power Tools of or the new BI avatar of Excel 2013. So these are the four components. First, you have Power Query. Now we know that in any BI or any business analytics that we carry out, there are certain stages. The first stage being what we say the ETL stage, or we say extract, transform, and load. So talk about any kind of data today, talk about any kind of big data or small data, whatever data it is. So the first phase will be ETL. So till now, our DBAs or our analysts were doing this cleansing and formatting thing. So right now with Excel 2013, that power has also been given to the end user. So we say that we no more are totally dependent on the DBAs or analyst or the MIS team to give us a cleaned or formatted data. We can do it within minutes. So that is what the power is all about. So these are the four components. Power Query is for ETL process. So if you want to extract some data from some resource, from some sources, and if you want to do some ETL activities, like you have what we say extract, transform, and load. So those all things can be done using Power Query. So this is the component, Power Query. Now, after the ETL or after cleansing of the data, the next step of any kind of business analysis is exploration. So for exploration, Excel has given us a new component called Power Pivot. So we call it Power Pivot for Excel 2013. So after exploration, the next phase is visualization. So for visualization, there are two components actually what has been added. One is Power Map and another one is Power View. So Power Query is for ETL, Power Pivot is for exploration, Power View and Power Map are for your visualization. The ETL process is also known as the discovery process. Fine. So these are the phases and these are the tools available in Excel right away to perform analysis. So let's see how it works. So this is how I have got these tools. Now let me show you where are these tools residing. So Power Query, which is your discovery tool, is right over here. Then we have Power Pivot. So Power Pivot is also this particular exploration tool, which is right here as a separate menu altogether. But where are the visualization tools? Visualization tools have been strategically put inside the insert menu. So when a person is going to make a chart, that is also a visualization technique. So right there, the user can see two more options. One is Power View and another one will be Power Map. So Power View is here. Power Map will also be a part of this particular place. So once we start off with our data exploration and other things, you will see that the same kind of uh, the similar tools will be available over here as well. So let's see. Let's move on to Power Query first of all. So let me show you the capabilities of Power Query first of all. Okay. As we know that in 2013, we have an option to actually log into Office 365 as well. So you can sign into Office 365 and you can directly work in Excel. And this is the premises on-premises version. And we know that Excel is also available on cloud version. So cloud and premises, both the versions, you can just sync together and you can work from any place, virtually from any place you can work on these particular technologies. So let's start and see what are the sources available in Power Query for our data exploration. So Power Query can gather data from web. This means that if you have got any URL or if you know any data source which is in the internet, then you can get it from this particular option. Then you have something called from file. So this is the regular option, Excel, CSV, XML and text files you can gather data from. You can gather data in Excel now from Access Database, SQL Server, Oracle Database, from IBM DB2, from MySQL, Postgres, Sybase and Teradata and lot other databases. You can gather data from Microsoft Azure Marketplace as well. And there are some other sources as well, which means that you can now link up your Excel to SharePoint list, even to Hadoop data file as well. And you can extract data directly from CRM online, from Facebook, from SAP, and from Salesforce CRM. So you no need to have an external source, or you no need to create queries and other things in these file sources, and you can directly get into Excel and just connect them and get all these details. So that is the power over here. The next step that we have is, this is again a very powerful thing. So data catalog search. So I will show you 2-3 ways of extracting data. The first being this data catalog search. This data catalog search is a very powerful thing, and in case you are looking for data from internet and to get that particular data, so especially data catalog works on Wikipedia search. So any kind of data from Wikipedia can be directly gathered into your Excel as a data set. So let me just show you one example. Suppose I'm just looking for uh, uh, a data model, or I'm looking for some analysis where I would require the tallest buildings of the world. So I'm doing some analysis based on some, let's say, geographical studies, or I want to do some power consumption related studies, or I want to do some soil testing kind of thing. So some kind of analysis I'm looking for, and I just wanted to check, do we have any correlation between the geography and uh, the towers or the tallest buildings that we have in our world. So for that analysis, the primary thing that we require is the names or the details of the tallest buildings of the world. So see here, if I simply put my English language world, or if you simply say tallest buildings of the world, and I press enter. Look at this. This particular tool has the capability to search right from Wikipedia. So if you just notice, these are data sets from Wikipedia. So you can see it says free encyclopedia, Wikipedia. And right away, even without extracting the data, you can have a preview of how this data looks like. So what are the columns? So there are 9 columns. So these are the techniques what your DBAs or your MIS people or analyst people uses. So they will see before getting into that data or before even extracting that data, they would like to see a preview of that particular data. So Excel has taken care of that. So it says that, okay, these are the 9 columns that are available for this particular data set. And this is the data source from where it is coming. It is coming from wikipedia.org. And this is a sneak preview of the data that is available. So we have the height, we have the number of floors, when this particular building was built. So these all details are over here, which country they belong to. Now Excel gives me a nice option. So it also says when it was last modified. So it gives me a very the great option over here. So it says, what do you want to do, load or load to? So load, so as I told you, extract and transform and load, that is the ETL of your data analysis or business analytics in organization. So load is one of the major components. In case you want to do some transformation, you click on edit. But right now we just wanted to see how this data looks like in our Excel file. So what we will do, we will simply go to load. The moment I go to load, watch out what happens. Remember, this is a Wikipedia file. However, we know that these Wikipedia files are actually available in cloud public data domain. Look at this. It has extracted 301 rows from Wikipedia. And not only this, it has also created a table out of that particular data and extracted in my Excel sheet. So this is the power of Power Query. Now what happens if I just wanted to do some modifications, or I don't require some columns, I don't require some details over here. So this is a very good example to understand how far your Power Query can go. So let's do one thing. Let's explore this. So if you go to query, so right now we are in this query mode. The moment we go to edit query, look here, just pay attention to the screen. You will see that right now we are in Excel. The moment I click on edit query, I am there on top of Excel. So this is not Excel, but this is sitting on top of Excel. So what we are doing here is we just have a look at how our data looks like. So this is the original data. Fine. So now we are about to do some ETL stuff over here. So we have already loaded. We see 9 columns are there, but we are not comfortable with some of the columns over here. So I will tell you what are they. First of all, I don't require this key field over here because this is getting repeated. So rank is there. The same is the key field. So understand one thing, one primary thing about this Power Query. So whenever you are getting data from some external sources, I mean some Wikipedia or some websites or something, then it will automatically add a key field to it. So it has also added the key field over here. Now I don't require this key field. So what I can do, I can simply say I don't want this particular column. And then I say remove column. The moment I say remove column, automatically that column gets removed. Not only this, if you just notice some of the columns here, so you can see rank is right aligned. Building is left aligned, city is left aligned. So if you talk about this rank, you see that you can have a look at this particular data type over here. So it says decimal number, but I know that rank cannot be decimal number. So what I can do some minimum like ETL steps over here, some cleansing formatting methods, what we say. So I say that, okay, fine, this is not a decimal number. We will go to for a whole number. So automatically the decimal data type has been changed. So these things we do in databases. See the power of Excel. So these all things are right there in your Excel right away. Now I will show you something very interesting. Look at this height. Now when we extracted data from height, it came as some number. Along with that, it said the unit as meters. Now when you say meters, And if I want to do some calculations on this particular column, then I won't be able to do it because it says 828M or 632M or something like this. So my original objective is to split this particular column so that the height and the meters, that unit, is separated. Look at this. How do we do it? So how simple it is. We don't have to go back to the schema of the table. We don't have to again modify the columns or rename the columns. We don't have to bother about cardinality. Those all things are taken care of by these power tools. See how simple it is. We simply go to split column and then we say that, okay, we would like to do like just remove or separate these two. So we know that these numbers are separated by a delimiter, which is space. So I will click on by delimiter. The moment I click on delimiter, it gives me an option, comma or space or what. So I say that I know that it is divided as space. The moment I say okay, look at this. It changes it into height 1 and height 2, and numbers and meter are now segregated. The moment I click, the moment I come here and I say delete, see now this particular field becomes a calculated field. This means I can do calculation on this. I'm not comfortable with this particular field name. So dot one is not required here. So I have changed it. Same we can do with the height as well. So if you say split column by delimiter, and if you go to space and say okay, look at this, how simple it is to convert a data. So now what happens if I just remove this particular height? So now everything seems to be all right over here. So we see the heights and when it was built and all these things are here. Now once we have done the cleansing part, the next part is to go for exploration. So let's see how we can explore these kinds of data. So if you simply say close and load, so here you can see that it is waiting for this public data to be updated. So now what we have done the cleansing part, and right now my clean data is in front of me. Now there is one point that I would like to make over here. You can see there is something called a refresh button over here at this corner. This refresh button. Now this refresh button allows you to again load the data from the Wikipedia source. Now if you simply click on this refresh button, then what will happen? Whatever data, because from Excel we cannot change Wikipedia or we cannot change that database. So what will happen? It will again come back to its original position. So this kind of refresh is usually done whenever you have got data that is not changing in terms of columns and other things. So we can link them up. That is absolutely fine. Now let me show you some other component over here. If you go to the next component, this is Power Pivot. So Power Pivot says that it is possible for me to convert this table. So understand one thing, it goes as a chain. First you have a raw data. That raw data has to be converted into a data table, without which you cannot think of making or converting it into a data model. The next step becomes conversion of this particular data into a data model. So data model actually allows us to perform so many different types of data modeling techniques. So if you say add to my data model, so right now I have clicked inside this particular table, and if I simply say add to my data model, it will add. And look at this Power Pivot also looks similar to my Power Query, but this is actually for some other methodologies. So this is for exploration. So that was for discovery of data. This is for exploration. Here, let's take an example that I would like to add some columns, or I would like to add some formula, or I would like to add some expressions, then those all things can be done in this particular section. So this is your power pivot option over here. So here also you have an option to go to data type and say whole numbers and other things. Now something very important about this particular portion is that you have something called a diagram view of this particular data. So we will quickly go to some other data sets as well and understand what is this diagram view. But I will just show you how it looks like. If you click on this diagram view, your data or your table is now in the form of a what you call it as an entity. So if you are aware of certain terms called ERD, or what we say entity relationship diagram, then you would understand this is just how it looks like in Access. So we have a table. So if you have multiple tables, then you can join them here as well. So that is the capability of your power tools, or what we say the BI self-service tools in Excel. This is the new avatar of Excel. So after having said that, what we can do, if you just go to pivot, it says, where would you like to make the pivot? In an existing sheet or in a new sheet? So you say that, okay, I want it in a new sheet. So now your pivot is looking just as a regular pivot of Excel. So here you would not understand any what we say a new twist in your data modeling or pivot or exploration concepts. But the next table that I'm going to show you, or the next case study that I'm going to take, there you will understand what is the benefit of having these particular details. Now this is one view, so we can just drag and drop and see which are the like if you simply say power pivot table display and go to classic pivot. So this is your original data now. So if you just say country wise, how many buildings are there? So you can just bring country over here. So these are the countries. And then you say buildings or ranks. So if you just bring in the rank, so you can see that the top 300 buildings, out of that 55 buildings. So if you just take a data sort. So if you just see how easily I am switching over from Power Pivot to Excel, or Power Query to Excel. So how simple it is. So at times I can just go to Excel option also, or at times I can simply go to your Power Pivot option also. So if I simply say Z2A, so see that most of the buildings, the tallest buildings of the world belongs to China, followed by UAE. So 75 top buildings belong to China, followed by UAE 55 and then USA 54. So these are the top three countries where the tallest buildings of the world reside. So such a very short and sweet analysis that we could do from this particular buildings over here. Now, if I'm just looking at something, what is the average number of floors built for these particular buildings over here? See how simple it is. So I'm not looking at sum of floors, but I'm looking at average of floors. So on an average, the buildings that we have in all these places. So what I will do, I will see a building cannot have point something as floors. So what I will do, I will simply go to home and I will simply decrease the point. See how we can do this quick analysis. So China has got 75 top buildings of this world, and average number of floors of these buildings are 64. So there might be a highest number and lowest numbers, definitely they are. So if you simply take the highest number, so if you simply say max, look at this, look at this. how simple it is to gather analytics data. A simple analysis of the tallest buildings, the top 300 tallest buildings of the world. I could gather this particular analysis. If you just look at the top three, so China has taken the top 75 buildings out of those 300. Average number of floors in those buildings are 64. China has got the highest building, the building with the highest number of floors as 121. But if you just look at the number of floors in terms of your maximum number of floors, if you see, then UAE, it has got this particular building. So if you just double click, you can see all the buildings of UAE. So we all know that Burj Khalifa is the tallest building. So we can see here the tallest skyscraper. How many floors are there when it was built? So these all details right here on your screen. So you can directly see here minimum number of floors of all these buildings are 46, 48 like that. So and maximum numbers are like this. So 108, 163 and 121. So a very small example of how we can do analysis of these particular data. Now I'm just showing you some more examples. So let's take an example. We don't require, just a moment, we see the table here. Table is also available. So if I'm just looking at the floors, I suppose I say I don't require the floors. And I'm looking at the top. I'm just looking at the top 5 or top 10. So what you can do, you can simply say filter, and then you have something called value filters, and you say top 10. The moment you say top 10, these are the top 10 countries having the tallest buildings of the world. Now, if you just see the contribution of these countries, you can simply click on this show value as. See, these are the regular things that we do in Excel as well. But the action that I'm doing right now is not on a regular data of Excel. This is actually a Wikipedia data. This is actually an external data. So see here, I can see that this is how the percentage contribution of buildings, the tallest buildings from these top 10 countries. Now let me show you another perspective. If you go to another sheet in the same workbook, and if you go to Power Query, and if you go to my database or database, so I have created a SQL database for you as just a dummy table. If you simply say that I am connecting to this particular server, and the database name I have just created as test database. Look at this. I was able to connect to my SQL server, and I have created one table for you here. So right there, this is your table, which is there in MySQL. So you would like to see how MySQL looks like. Look at this. So I told you, and I said that we will be gathering some data from external sources. So this is how we gather. So this is my MySQL workbench. If I just open, so this is my data. This is my table. So look at this. So columns, and if you simply click on this data sheet, so you can see this is the same data that I am trying to gather from Excel. So from Excel, I'm trying to gather, look at this data. This is the same data that you have just seen in MySQL Workbench. So Excel allows you to extract data from your SQL server or SAP, as I told you, from any kind of database you can gather data. So I'm showing you right here, how do we load this data? We say load. We simply click on the data and we say load. Now you need one more step to believe me that yes, this is definitely MySQL data only, and this is live data itself. So let me go back to this particular table and do some modification. Let's say this seminar, I'm making it as workshop. So right now in Excel, you can see this is same thing as in MySQL. I'm just changing this and making it as workshop. The moment I change this and I say apply here, I change and say apply, it says that we need to edit this. The moment I say apply, it says SQL script was successfully applied to the database. We say finish. The data is updated. Look at this Excel sheet now. This data is still my old data, but look at this. The moment I say refresh, see here, your seminar has become workshop now. So this is the power of the new BI avatar that we have in Excel. So it can directly connect to your databases. It can directly connect to your existing tools and databases that we have got. And right from our data, we can actually create or visualize our details or data. So see here, this was MySQL and this is Excel. We directly got the data from MySQL server. So talking about the visualization part, suppose this is your data and I wanted to visualize this particular data in as a dashboard. So let's see. So can you see that right now my pivot has got two different sections. One is related to the tallest skyscrapers and the second is my expense heads. Now this expense heads was coming from MySQL. Would you see here, just appreciate this fact that for my pivot, I have got two data sets. One is from Wikipedia, another is from MySQL server. So this is the power of the new BI avatar. And right now, this is in a live streaming situation. So I'm in go-to training mode, and I'm into online mode. And definitely, you know that a particular bandwidth has been taken by this particular training software or the application as well. Apart from that, I have opened Excel. Apart from that, I have opened MySQL, which also takes some of your memory. Apart from that, I was able to extract data right from Wikipedia in a Jiffy. And now I connected it to my MySQL. Did you see any time lag or any latency in my Excel? No, there was absolutely no latency, no time lag in my Excel. Excel is working as smooth as it was working previously as well. So this is the new power avatar. So forget about um, whatever data you have and like how many data points you have or all these things. You can simply keep those worries aside and you can directly concentrate on analysis of data. So whether it is millions of records or it is running to billions and trillions of records, doesn't matter. So I showed you something there as load to. I will show you. So when you say load, it automatically loads the entire table. But there's an option called load to as well, which allows you to create a connection between the table. Now, take for an example that this particular MySQL server database or this particular table has got almost around 1 million records or more than 1 million records. So let's say suppose it has got 2 million records or so. Now 2 million records, it is not possible for Excel to capture that. Fine. So in that case, this particular tool gives you a upper edge. So you say that you're not loading the entire data, but just creating a link to that particular data. That's it. So you can actually carry on with all your actions and all your analysis. So see how simple it is now to go to pivot. So if you just go to Power Pivot tools, you say chart and you make a pie chart out of it, and see, getting data out of Wikipedia and making a pie chart instantly in Excel was not possible previously, and this is a new concept and new application of analysis or business analysis for your data. So I will just show you one more small addition. So if you just go to insert, I told you there are three different components of this Power Tools. The first component being your discovery, where we showed how to extract data from different sources. Then we moved on to the exploration part, where we actually created some pivot tables, and these were all similar to your Excel. Uh, However, the benefit was that we could actually create pivot tables from multiple sources right here in one Excel sheet, which was not possible previously. So here we say that bye-bye to your VLOOKUP mainly. So we don't require multiple tables to be accumulated in one sheet using VLOOKUP and thousands of formulas, and then you are making a pivot table or a dashboard. Days are gone. So right now you just have your data, connect it using Power Pivot, and then make your dashboard. So let's move on to the final section of this particular demo. You go to something called Power View. Look at the capabilities of Power View now. So you can see that instantly that data is now here in my dashboard. So see here, see to believe it what you say. So this is actually looks like your PowerPoint chart or PowerPoint slide. So here I can put um, analysis of tallest buildings, something like this. Just you put, see, just like your PowerPoint. So what more we could ask for? So PowerPoint is also incorporated in this particular Excel or in this Power Tools concept. So right now I have just created the title, and look at this. If you simply say that I need information regarding the country, or I need information about the buildings and all. So if I simply put on buildings, see what happens automatically, it shows me all the buildings. Now if I'm just looking for some details of the floors and other things, that also I can get here. But look at something very interesting over here. I just bring in the country. So the moment I bring on country, you see that it has given me an option called map. See what happens when I simply click on this map and I increase the width. Look at this. So Excel, or this power avatar of Excel, the Power View, was straight away able to place all those um, my buildings or details of, means the landmarks of those buildings right on top of your map. So you can see this is a Bing map. So if you would like to zoom it, so you can zoom like this as well. So if you can see here, I'm zooming it inside. So here, so if you simply click on this particular place, you will see it says country UAE. So if you simply say that how many buildings are like that, so if you simply try to bring on this particular rank, so instantly it creates a bubble chart for you. Did you notice this? See, you see that most of whatever we saw in our analysis in Excel here is right away available as a chart, as a map in Excel. So here we are in Excel, and directly we can see that China has got the highest number of buildings in terms of when we say tallest buildings in the world. So we have it here, followed by UAE and followed by other places. So Saudi Arabia and other places like Hong Kong and other cities. So this is the power of the new avatar and whatever we wanted to show you. Believe me, this is just a glimpse of what your power tools can do in Excel. And in